crowd inside Utah Delta Center roared with thunder. It was June 14th, 1998. Ottawa. Game 6 of the NBA Finals. The Chicago Bulls were facing the Utah Jazz. The series was 3-2. One more win and the Bulls would be champions again. But it wasn't just any game. It felt different. It felt final. Everyone watching knew something big was coming. Michael Jordan stood at the center of it all. At 35 years old, with 5 championships behind him, he wasn't just playing basketball. He was chasing immortality. The game was tough. Every play was a fight. Karl Malone and John Stockton were pushing hard for the Jazz, but Jordan never looked away. Even when Scottie Pippen, his trusted teammate, was struggling with a bad back, Jordan didn't panic. He kept going. Quiet, focused, calm like a storm just before it hits. Each time the Jazz took the lead, Jordan answered. He slashed through defenders. He sank jump shots. He made the crowd gasp with his moves. But as the fourth quarter ticked down, Utah led by 3. Time was slipping. So was the chance for glory. It was now or never. That's when Michael Jordan did what only he could do. First, he drove to the basket and scored with ease. Now the Bulls were down by 1. Then, with just 20 seconds left, he slipped behind Karl Malone, swatted the ball away like a thief in the night, and took off. The stadium went silent. Cameras clicked. Everyone leaned forward. Something was about to happen. Jordan crossed half court, the ball in his hands, eyes locked on the basket. The moment had come. Michael moved slowly, purposefully. The ball bounced once, twice, as he studied the defender in front of him, Byron Russell. Jordan had seen him before. They'd clashed in many games, but this wasn't just another duel. This was the last stand, the final shot. 10 seconds left. Jordan shifted right. Russell followed. Then suddenly, Jordan stopped, pulled back. Russell slid just a step too far. In that tiny space, Jordan rose into the air. The form was perfect. Elbow bent, wrist relaxed. The ball lifted off his fingertips like a whisper. The world held its breath. The ball spun through the air, cutting through time and pressure and legacy. As it dropped, it barely touched the rim, nothing but net. The Bulls were ahead 87-86. The Delta Center fell quiet. It was as if someone had stolen the sound from the room. Utah had one last chance, but they missed. The buzzer sounded. It was over. Jordan stood still, arm held high, soaking in the silence. No fist pumps, no loud screams. Just a quiet walk off the court, like a king leaving his throne. He had scored 45 points. He had taken the last shot. He had stolen the ball. And he had delivered victory. For fans around the world, it felt like destiny. For Jordan, it was poetry. The days that followed were filled with questions. Would Jordan return next season? Would this be his final game? He didn't say much. He never needed to. The image of that last shot was everywhere. On TV, in newspapers, on bedroom walls. That one motion had said everything. People called it the perfect ending, a final chapter written by the greatest player the game had ever seen. No one else had ever walked away at the top, leaving the world wanting more. But that's exactly what Jordan did. He retired months later, in January 1999. No press drama, just a short statement. He said goodbye again, but this time, it felt permanent. The league changed without him. New stars rose, but something was missing. The fire, the magic, that edge Jordan brought every night. Years passed. People debated his legacy. They compared stats. They measured rings. But no number could capture that feeling. The tension before the shot, the calm in his eyes, the way time froze when the ball sailed in. That moment stood taller than trophies. It lived in memory. Children growing up in distant countries practiced that same move. Crossover, step back, shoot. Everyone wanted to be like Mike, not just because he won, but because he won with style, with pressure crushing down on him, with silence in his soul. And so his final shot became more than just points on a scoreboard. It became a symbol of greatness, of courage, of timing, of knowing when to leave. Behind that single shot was a lifetime of obsession. Michael Jordan wasn't born perfect. He wasn't even the best in high school. He was cut from his varsity team as a teenager, but instead of quitting, he worked harder. Hours in the gym, days without rest, nights spent chasing one goal: greatness. He played like every game was war. Teammates feared him. Opponents respected him. Coaches trusted him. He demanded everything from himself and more from everyone around him. That pressure broke some, but it made champions out of others. By the time he reached that 1998 game, He had nothing left to prove. But still, he played like he had everything to lose. That's what made him different. He wasn't chasing stats. He was chasing legacy. The story of that final shot wasn't about luck or chance. It was about preparation. Thousands of shots in empty gyms, studying defenders, watching tapes, practicing the same move over and over until it became part of him. So when the moment came, he didn't hesitate. His body knew what to do. His mind was clear. And that's what people saw on that court. Not just a man taking a shot, but a lifetime of work compressed into 1 second. A single flick of the wrist that told a story no words ever could. Even today, when people talk about greatness, they return to that moment. They replay the clip. They analyze every step, every breath. Coaches teach it. Players study it. Fans still get goosebumps. Other legends came after Jordan. Kobe, Bron, Curry. But Jordan's shot hangs over them like a shadow. It's not just that he won, it's how he won. With grace, with timing, with the calm of a man who knew he belonged in history. When young athletes talk about pressure, that shot is their guide, because Jordan didn't flinch. He didn't call a timeout. He didn't pass the ball. He owned the moment. That's rare. Most people fear pressure. Jordan welcomed it. It was his home. And it wasn't just the shot. It was the steal before it. The points before that. The leadership. The vision. He wasn't just scoring. He was writing the ending to a story had been building his whole life. It's why that game is more than a game. It's a legend, a symbol, proof that excellence isn't a gift. It's a decision, a daily choice, to keep going, to never settle, to always believe the final moment is yours to take. Years later, Michael Jordan stood in front of crowds as a Hall of Famer. He wore suits instead of jerseys. But in every speech, in every interview, that moment from 1998 lived close to him. It was the crown jewel of his journey, a reminder that for one final time, with the weight of the world on his shoulders, he delivered. He had given fans everything, the highlights, the heartbreaks, the impossible wins. And then, with one last shot, he gave them closure. A perfect goodbye. People often ask what legacy means. Some think it's about records. Others say it's about fame. But Jordan taught us something deeper. Legacy is about timing, about knowing when to act, about owning the moment when it matters most. That shot wasn't just a score. It was a message. That legends write their own endings. That greatness doesn't fade. It signs its name in silence, then disappears. And so Michael Jordan, with one final shot, didn't just win a game. He sealed a story told in arenas, on playgrounds, through tears and cheers. A story that whispers to every dreamer, if the moment comes, take the shot, because that's how legends are made.